You smell what the Rock is cooking.
Acknowledge me.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
We are bad to the bone. Get it? Bad to the bone.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I'll fight anybody. Who do you want? Just let me fight him.
Let me tell you something, Jim Ross.
Mega power, yeah.
We got it for you.
We are the best of the best.
Woo! Wheeling, dealing.
Smart marks.
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to Talk 'em in the Building, a pro wrestling podcast where we focus specifically on the pro wrestling promo. We talk about the talkers, we hype the hype man, and we pontificate on the promo. I'm your host tonight, and your future stunt grandpa or abuelo at your local indie show. At least that's my dream. My name is Adalid, and as always, I'm joined by my compadres, the homies holding it down out in Atlanta, Georgia. Our in-house historian, Greg. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
And the man with the plan, he's the boss, Adrian, part of your Suplex Podcast Networks here.
What up? What up? What's happening, man?
I was chilling, man, and excited to have anyone who's listening here new. If this is your first time here, check us out on intothebuilding.com. Intothebuilding.com is going to take you back to our archive, and we have a whole catalog of short form, long form podcasts. We got, reels. We got everything that you need to check us out here to get a feel for what the show is. So if you're enjoying the content, like, comment, subscribe, and everything that comes with that. But guys, before we get into tonight's promos, I really want to dive into something that's I've been thinking about, and borderline I want to get off my chest. I can't say that it's like the most important thing in the world, but I keep people here saying that we're living in the modern territories in a way, right? Because we got all these companies, they're thriving, they're doing their thing across the world. And you got guys, like Andrade, who just went back and forth and back and forth. And now you got like an Ali who's making his moves and within a crossover, and Punk back again, right? And AJ Lee back again, although those are unique cases. So in some ways it does feel like territories because people are, recreating a character or finding their ways. Wrestlers are benefiting, right? Better contracts, some level of freedom. The companies, are coming at it like that, and they're making tons of money as well. Right. But I guess my question to y'all here is this kind of fluid era we're living in where we're going back and forth, does this make the pro wrestling scene stronger ultimately? Or does that back and forth make the wrestlers feel a bit more forgettable? Because I can point a few examples, but I'm looking at you first, Greg, because I don't know if everybody's a Scott Hall or Nash walking into Nitro. I didn't know if sometimes it just feels like noise and they move over and it's kind of done. But I want to hear your thoughts on that.
So let interesting you said that the territory. So I'm gonna angle it a certain way. There was many years ago a guy who went to Canada, learned how to wrestle. They're like, you go up there and learn how to wrestle, and you come back down here and figure this out, and you became the Junkyard Dog. All of a sudden became a huge star. Then you had another guy. Go over there and learn how to wrestle and come back and you became Kamala. So when we talk about the territories, that's one of the advantages we used to have. Go learn a new hold, as they used to say.
Right.
Go learn something different. I'm going to use Ash by Elegance as an example. We had the Dana Brooke who goes and becomes Ash by Elegance. Took a minute, but got over. I'll say the same thing about Toni Storm. She had one character. She goes and develops something else. I'm going to tell you, Matt Cardona. He took Zack Ryder, pretty much killed Zack Ryder, and now he's a totally different person. You say the same thing about Cody. Cody went out, became, he was handsome Cody and all these other things, and little mustache Cody, and then Stardust and whatever. He had to leave, go learn a new hold, go hit the Indies, go hit Japan, go create AEW, become the American Nightmare, and then he creates something. So the opportunities there, just like it was back in the day with the Indies. To your point, jumping back and forth, if you're not recreating yourself, you become less special. Now, if you remember, or you may not, in WCW, Ron Simmons was the champion. Early 90s, right? The Barbarian came in. Oh my gosh, big star, Barbarian. He's here in WCW. What was he when he left WWE? He wasn't a big star. Right now, when somebody leaves WWE and goes to AEW, they're looked at as a major star.
Mm.
Moxley, Christian, Show, Mark Henry walked in. Jim Ross walked in, was the biggest star they had at the moment. And then you look at Edge. He walks in, oh, big star. They were kind of, they weren't being treated that way as much in WWE. So you have that. But if they jumps back, is he looked at as the same? To your point, probably not. If you're not recreating yourself and jumping these territories and recreating, are you getting that exposure? That's phase 1 and 2. The other part that I don't think you mentioned, though, look at a Dominic Mysterio
Mm-hmm.
being able to go to a AAA, work in a whole different atmosphere in front of a whole different crowd. And now we're putting him in there. We're putting these other guys, in AAA. Go learn something different in front of a different crowd. Can you get over there? And
Right.
now can we make it translate to NXT or to TNA or take that and translate it to the main roster? So I think that's the advantage we have now, that they are kind of like um, territories. The difference is it's more exposure, because
Mm.
back then you could send somebody to Portland, Oregon, go learn what you got to learn, and now come back to Atlanta in 6 months and be like a whole different person.
Mm.
Now you can go watch that guy when he goes to
Exactly
Portland,
right.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think those who have the guts and the wherewithal to create a new character, become that new character, and see it through.
Mm.
The
Sure.
blueprint's sitting there. The blueprint was
Mhm.
laid out by Cody and by Cardona. And now I would say Ash by Elegance. I give her so
Right.
much credit
Yeah.
because she was, as Dana Brooke had fallen so far down the line,
Yeah. It's a
and she
one-dimensional
earned it,
character.
man.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
earned it. Look at, I'll say the same thing about Naomi.
Yeah.
Going to
Oh, that's a
Absolutely.
TNA
good
You
made her
kidding me?
example. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that's what I love about what we have today. There's other places to go that are major places they can make a living and still hone their craft.
For sure.
So on that end, you mentioned a lot of folks that are, we're established, right? We're established players in their respective company who went on and bet on themselves. They put in the work to become, right, this new character. Like Timeless Tony Storm is drastically different from anything she did in WWE or
Yes.
anything she did even in that little
Prior.
spell that
Anything
she was
prior.
doing in New Japan. Remember, she
Right.
did a little
Yep.
couple guest appearances there, a little more hardcore. But does this work for everyone? And more, I'm gonna ask you the same question, Adrian, here, but with a little bit of a twist. We just named a lot of folks who are veterans. They are going through the business. They've gotten burned by the business. Does this benefit the younger wrestlers that are coming in, where they might fizzle out of an NXT or an AW? And do they have the, I guess, the impetus is on them to say, I need to recreate, because otherwise that is your career. It's done. So how do
Mm.
you feel about this back and forth, and who does it ultimately benefit?
Well, I will preface this by saying I think of today's wrestling as less territories and
Mm-hmm.
more of an arms race between
Mm,
two mega powers, and everyone is aligning their allegiances to either of the big powers to be. That's the reality of it. And we're seeing that right now. But when it comes to this younger talent, I think it's ultimately a case by case, who's actually mature, who's actually been smartened up to the business, and how to actually make themselves valuable in this business. Like, we're seeing it with WWE. It's going on 10 plus years, even further back, where the younger talent that's coming through their system, they didn't touch independent wrestling. And
yeah.
there's a reason, reason behind that, and it's some good and some bad to that, in my opinion, because I I don't want to feel like I'm picking on this performer, but like Tiffy, like Tiffy's extremely talented. She's super athletic. She's a beautiful woman. She's a beautiful performer, but something's not clicking. Something's not clicking. And I've seen her. I mean, I think all of us have seen her live, but only speaking for myself, she doesn't know how to work a live crowd. She doesn't. She doesn't. She knows how to do moves really well. And I think that's the case with a lot of these younger wrestlers. So, you know, going an option of NXT in theory makes perfect sense. Like if my kid was a pro wrestler, I would love for them to be involved in that performance center. But there are some things that aren't really translating for a lot of them because once they get out to that main roster, it's a whole different world. It's no longer a closed it's no longer a closed environment where anything and everything you do is going to be over. Like that's the thing about the Orlando crowd. Everything's over there. We saw that with what was my guy. I used to hate watching him. The dancing guy, the
Fandango?
no. I like Fandango.
Jose.
No way, Jose.
Oh my
Prime. Oh
gosh.
my gosh. Prime example. Orlando loved him. They made him seem like he's over. I remember this summer in particular, I traveled with NXT. I went to Birmingham, Alabama. I went to New Orleans. Like these are every other day. I was going because I had off that week and I could do it. I could afford to do it. Lucky me. And I went to those NXT house shows, had front row seats. And other than Orlando, that crowd hated No Way Jose. They hated him. And because of that, he couldn't work. No offense to the performer. Shout out to him for being a pro wrestler, but he couldn't get his stuff over, man. And that's one of those things that the performance center maybe isn't connecting right. You know, I don't know what's the reason why. That's why they should be able to go to Mexico, like Greg said. Dom going to Mexico, perfect opportunity for him to go to a new environment, experience a different type of crowd, different vibe. The Lucha Libre crowd gets certain things over that the American crowd doesn't. That's good for him exposure-wise. Making an excursion to Japan when WWE gets that partnership with whoever we want to say, that's going to be good for them because that crowd reacts differently than the American crowd. So being able to travel, being able to test things out, kind of like a stand-up act, right? You're testing your material out, and that's where you can get well-rounded to the point where it doesn't matter what show you drop me at, I'm going to get over because I'm that great of a pro wrestler as in moves, but because I know how to connect with people. And I think that's important with these younger performers.
I think the other thing, something you touched on is today is just the product of today. This is not, it was better back in the day. Not necessarily.
Right.
It's when guys or girls come up today, they don't have 1,000 matches under their belt.
Right.
They just don't. And they definitely don't have them in front of crowds. So that lack of house shows hurts. Lack of understanding how to manipulate a crowd hurts. You're also looked at in an incubator. How good are you right here? It's like American Idol. I remember listening to Lionel Richie say, if I had to perform on this show, or me and the Commodores had to perform on this show, we would never make it. We learned in the clubs. We learned in front of 10 people, 20 people, 200 people. We learned how to control a crowd. Right. We learned how to control a crowd. We learned how to perform in front of a crowd, or we knew how to work that crowd, which allowed us to blow up. We would never do well walking onto a show like this, like American Idol, where we had to perform. And that's what the Performance Center is. That's what NXT is. It's boom, here it is. How do you replicate that? It's just a different world, right?
Yeah.
It's an intangible,
Yeah. But the thing is, I believe you said that about you asked the question about the performer. I'm gonna go back to one of our previous episodes. Go back in the archive, check this. When we talked about R-Truth, And we talked about when he had little Jimmy, he committed to it.
Right.
Yep.
I believe that if you truly commit to a character and you truly put your all into it and you really believe in it, you can get anything over.
Mm.
You
Oh, yeah.
mentioned Danhausen before, right? You love Danhausen out of lead. There's no reason this dude is over. Let's call it what it is, but it's because he's invested.
Mm.
He believes in it, and he's made it work. Darby has made it work.
Right.
Sting made it work. Warrior made it work. Terry Taylor could not make the Red Rooster work.
Mm.
And we talk about how crazy and stupid that gimmick was, but yet the Undertaker lasted 30-something years.
Bingo.
So that's a stupid, crazy, unbelievable gimmick.
Yeah.
But he
Kane,
evolved it, right? He wasn't the
100%.
same character,
Mm-hmm.
right?
No, he wasn't. But that's the key is but you still got to be invested and
Mhm.
believe in it.
Mhm.
Took ownership of
Absolutely.
it. Yep.
Kane made it work for 20-something years.
Right.
Yeah.
And you see these guys who can make these things work, but they have to believe in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I believe that if you figure out what is that, CM Punk has made his character work.
Mhm.
Being real, being straight edge, being a no-nonsense rebel, if you will. And it's connected with people at a different level than others.
Mm.
Right? Cena connected a certain way. They have to invest though.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Yeah.
the key. But you got to test it. And it's okay. This is one big thing that bugs a lot of people in the IWC. It's okay if you don't get over in AEW and get over in WWE. They are different crowds.
Right.
And then you flip over, like right now, Mox, if he comes back to WWE, he's going to be over, but he's going to be always much more over with the AEW type of a crowd.
Mm.
And I would say that Copeland, Edge is always going to be more over with a WWE crowd. Right now, he has a nostalgia from the AEW crowd, right?
Mm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's some people who can go to Japan and that's their crowd. They can go to Mexico, that's their crowd. We've seen people in NXT be over it everywhere. It doesn't matter if you went to New York. We watched it with Gargano.
Mm-hmm.
We sat there
Yeah.
in New York. We watched Gargano and Cole,
Ciampa.
right?
Oh,
Well,
Cole. Yeah, that was.
and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was an insane
Brooklyn.
freaking match and all this kind of crazy stuff. But then Gargano comes to the main roster. He's never been that level.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's okay
Yeah.
because they're different crowds.
Yeah.
You're not going to be over everywhere. And that's all right. And I think this is where the IWC gets upset. Oh, wait, the WWE failed them. Did they?
Mm.
Or did we? Did the fans fail him? Because he doesn't. Certain people just don't connect with that casual fan. And that's all. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just always have believed that it's just nothing wrong with it. Like Michael Hayes didn't get over everywhere.
Mm.
I mean, there are some who did. Flair, Hogan. Hogan had to evolve too.
Mhm.
Hogan as a babyface coming into WCW, it wasn't as big. It was kind of cool,
Right.
but once he flipped into a heel and became a different character,
Yeah.
he evolved. To your point, oddly, they have to evolve as well.
And I'll admit this. I know not everybody's there to, have a 20-year career either,
That's true.
It's like, some of them are definitely there for a paycheck and they're happy to be there and they'll put on the matches and that'll be the end of it, right? And I think that's where as fans we're so invested because we, as much as begrudgingly, as much as crap as the IWC gets, like I think at the heart we really want wrestlers just to be the best version of themselves, and it gets frustrating when they're not given the opportunity or when they don't reach for that opportunity, right? And all I'm saying is I hope Andrade doesn't just get lost in that Don Callis vortex because it really feels like that, and it was only night one, so
Yeah, I'm
just,
pulling for him. That's my guy.
So let me ask you all a question: who recently has jumped wherever they jumped? Doesn't matter if it's AEW, WWE, WWE, AEW, New Japan, TNA. Where have you seen somebody jump there? You're like, nah, that's not working.
I mean, a woman's wrestler that comes to mind, but again, I don't know if she necessarily got a fair shake in the first place. Mia Yim, I mean, she went back and forth TNA, and I mean, if you told me where she is, I thought I don't even know if she's on TV anymore.
SmackDown. Like she's just
There.
she's there. She's in a match her there, but she's hit her ceiling essentially with the way that they view her as a performer. So I do agree with you compared to where she was at TNA, where she was viewed compared to now. It's completely different. Man, I'm trying to think of someone that just particularly didn't land. I don't want to say Mercedes Moné, but I kind of want to say Mercedes Moné because like I get it, the belt collector and all that, but that AEW crowd's turned on her. They are not bought in on her character, and we're kind of not like bought in on her overall, as in her promo and her ring. Her matches. Yeah, cool. She's gonna deliver, but in terms of leading into those matches, her promos are kind of getting exposed. Like she's gotten exposed. Her promo has gotten exposed, just flat out. And I'm saying that as a fan of Sasha Banks, as a fan of Mercedes Moné, her promo got exposed like that.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
What about Rusev?
I think the Rusev to WWE thing is kind of working.
Starting
it's kind
to
of
work.
working. Yeah, it's kind of working.
This is where we go back to the patience.
Yeah.
Because they're still not there. Like they kind of popped for me when he first came, and it kind of went down, and now they're forcing it.
Yeah,
they're forcing it. But I mean, you saw him get booed against Dom.
Yeah,
it's a fun match. I'll give him that. He played his role perfectly. So if
he
that's
did.
his,
They flipped
if that's
it. They flipped it.
The utility player of sorts, maybe that's his spot, right?
That match was like a Saturday morning WWF match, like really short, but a lot of character work. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that.
But I think the thing about that is this is the genius of what's going on there, and including Rusev, they were able to do that because him coming in. This is just my opinion. I think he's coming in as more of that brute, dominant person, and they kind of crapped on him. I just kind of felt like, this is not going to go well, but they got to stick with it, and I think that's the key. That you see a little bit more today than you did under the previous regime at WWE. A little bit more patience. AEW sometimes I think kind of pulls people quickly, but I just think Rusev to me is starting to come back up, but to me there for a while it's just kind of like he's here.
It's indifferent, right? I think that's the scariest thing you can face as a wrestler. It's like you get no reaction.
But Andrade was the same way, right? He came in, people were like, "Oh, cool," and then I mean he didn't do himself any favors the last several months, but it was kind of like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
and you're also getting overshadowed. I mean, let's call it what it is. He's getting overshadowed. But also, I sit back. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going on my rant for a second. I think sometimes as a booker or whoever, you have to look at him and go, when was this character valuable? It's when he had Selena. He's never been valuable post Selena. And I'll say the same thing about Rusev. When was he most valuable? Is when he had Lana. As and when they were under that whole foreigner type thing, and it was just like that's when he was the most dominant. And sometimes I feel like the creative handicaps them and kind of puts them in a situation where it's like, oh, why'd you take that away from me? But
I don't know. The biggest gift from his AW run was that meme. Okay, how you know? But talking about things that didn't land. I mean, there was that Phoenix Andrade partnership tag team. It was just like, all right, you guys are pretty good. Like, let's put you guys together. But anyway, well, we could go on and on because honestly, I mean, I'm just curious to see how like the future goes for the eras that we're in, and how are wrestlers going to reinvent themselves in this context, because it seems harder than ever, to be honest. But anyway, speaking of things that don't land with the fans, we're going to move on into our show tonight. And for tonight, I thought I'd take a little step back. We always talk about these amazing promos, and what always tidies up a promo is the catchphrase, right? So we got the Austin 316, we got everything and anything. That's everyone from Ric Flair to going to the Woo. But sometimes, if we really go back and analyze pro wrestling promos, there were always catchphrases that didn't catch on. And oh my gosh, were they trying to make them catch on, right? They could have been weird, they could have been just a little odd, and sometimes they just got lost. They got forgotten about. So if you have any catchphrases that maybe we're going to be missing tonight, put them in the comments. Let us know why you love them, why they didn't catch on. But I figured I start tonight with an oldie but a goodie, and Back to the Future parlance over here. I'm going to start with the promo from 1991 from someone that you really didn't hear talk too much, and he's not going to talk that much here. The original person who hurt people. We're going to talk about the Berserker.
Okay, Bret Hart, how do you feel? Being the champion. Very good, good. Let me tell you, upon entering the ring against my Berserker, you better watch out and hold on your belt, boy, son.
That's right, Hart. You ain't gonna have a chance to give them stinking sunglasses away when you wrestle the Berserker. You're gonna get a size 14 upsize your stinking head because I'm the guy that always gets his hands on something. And if it means pounding you over the head with whatever I grab to win that title, then that's what's gonna happen.
I love it. The title for Berserker, Master Fuji. Sayonara, man.
Adrian.
Hey.
Huss.
Yeah.
Is that the most you ever heard Berserker talk in his life?
It was, and I see why that's the case. Like, that. I mean, I'll give him credit. He looked good. He looked good in that. At least if this was your first time seeing him, he looked like a menacing character, gigantic dude. But yeah, that promo was, that was 80s pro wrestling promo number A. I mean, letter A. That was the first option. That's. Yeah.
And shout out to Mr. Fuji for being the
shout
glue
out
that
Fuji.
holds it together.
For sure, man. For sure.
So my memory's bad, and I think, just having grown up in an era where I selectively forget things. But Huss was not the catchphrase that I remember.
I don't even remember him talking, man. I don't even remember the guy talking.
No, he didn't.
At all. Yeah.
No way. Greg, you might be able to enlighten us a little bit more. What was Huss, and why should we care?
Well, here's what's interesting. Go back and watch a Bruiser Brody promo. He did the same thing. He used to do the same type of a thing. And in between him talking, hush. So this to me was a Bruiser Brody ripoff. And it just didn't connect. But I don't remember Berserker ever talking. But if you go back and watch some of the old Bruisers, he would do that same type of a gimmick. So, and if you look at the ring attire, the bushy boots,
very similar,
and all that, it was kind of like, are we trying to recreate Bruiser in WWE form?
Doggone Vince, boy.
You can't get them, imitate them.
Such a product of this time. And if you go back and just search for those, this is the only one where he says anything of substance. And I think you're right. I think they figured out really early. It said let's not cut out the legs.
But not just that. I mean,
being quiet.
When I'm watching that, I'm like, I just totally disconnected from the character. I'm like, I don't understand what I'm watching. Like, you're the Berserker. I don't ever remember him talking. But then you have Mr. Fuji, who should talk for you. You just sit there and do your bark or whatever you're doing, and just shut up and don't say nothing else. And that was awful.
Good. We're not doing Dusty reviews tonight, but let's
2 thumbs down.
Negative three Dusties.
Right.
Awesome. All right. I thought that was a good way to get us started tonight, because I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? All right. Rough. So I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. Maybe something with a little more substance, a little bit more fun. Going to play kind of almost like 2 promos back to back. They're relatively short. And we go from maybe a misplaced promo to someone that maybe I think definitely knew who they were, but it's the context of everything, right? Here we go from someone who's dead on camera to now you have someone you can play off to. So this is interview style. This is Ox Baker, pro wrestler, 1970s.
And I have seen in this game, and that proves it right there.
You know, Al, I keep thinking about you. I tried to shake your hand at a match a little while ago, a couple matches ago. You walked away with your nose up in the air. I know you're a good friend of this Bob Luke that wants the bruiser to beat up on me. He wants to stop me like a bed bug, and you would be happy to see it too. Why are you even on this program with me? The Godfather sent you here to try to look at that smirk on your face. I want to tell you one thing. I don't like you either. And if you don't get over here by the time I count 3, I'm going to give you one of my... I'm going to start counting 1, 2. Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? He run off because the tear that I have in this fist of mine. And Bruiser, all I can tell you is, I don't care if the Godfather told you to beat up on me. I'm going to use this fist. I'm going to hurt you. This L learner, did you see the smirk on his face? The Godfather, who's not man enough to come here and interview me. He sent his L learner here, and now I'm here by myself. Why do I need them people? I got the harsh punch. I got Dick the Bruiser in there, and I'm going to tell you, he is supposed to do a job on me, but with this one punch, Bruiser, first it was flat on the ground. All I can tell you, don't get down. Don't lay with your back on that floor, or you're going to get hurt. And if Bob Luke, if you're anywhere near there, you're going to get hurt. And hell, I wish he'd have waited till I got up to 3, because I'd have hurt him.
All right, another member of the hurt people here. Second 2 in a row. Greg, what are your memories or thoughts, or if you have any recollection of Ox Baker and his fascination with hurting people? I know I'm familiar with the heart punch, at least.
Oh yeah. I feel like watching this was, hey, go talk for 3 minutes, and he had 30 seconds worth of content.
Right.
That's it.
So it was like he just kept repeating himself. But the other part I'm watching, as we talk about, there's nothing new in pro wrestling. It's all recycled. Am I watching Mankind and Jim Ross sitting there for a little while? At some point, like that whole interaction, the sit down interview, the fact he gets up and says something, and the announcer's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm like, that's exactly the sit down interview that Jim Ross did with Mick Foley when he attacked him. But that was my other thought. But I was just laughing internally because I'm like, there's this dude, scary looking dude in Ox Baker. The way he's got the eyebrows, the big bushy mustache, big dude. You really don't have to say anything to me. You would talk me out of whatever I'm at, like an alleyway, a building. I'm out, bro. Like you good. You do you. I'm
got
out.
it.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't. From the catchphrase piece, I couldn't get it because I felt like he just kept repeating himself and had no idea what else to say because he's like, I'm done with my content. I got nothing else.
Yeah. Like that last minute is like him just saying, it's because there are other ones and he keeps saying like, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt you. But clearly it's not locked in enough.
No.
And
there were no
the reason it didn't
producers.
catch on.
There were no producers.
None at all. None at all.
Adrian, how would you redo this, recut this, or maybe give him a few pointers to maybe get that catchphrase over, or maybe just not let him talk at all?
I mean, I would let him talk, but I would also have the interviewer drive it a little bit more before he scatters off. I think that's where it got derailed because once you lose the straight man, now you're just leaving him out on his own, and clearly, like Greg said, it's only 30 seconds of material. So you got a 10-pound bag, but you only got 5 pounds of shit. Like, what are we going to do, man? So maybe not scare that guy off too early. Like, let's drive up the anticipation for you to get angry to the point of him fearing for his safety and everything. And then let's start talking about hurting people. And that'll probably squeeze down a little bit of that time, you know? Don't lose the straight man so early.
Right.
Know?
And he has I looked at other promos. He does it often. He scares off the straight man. There's a multi-person in studio one where they're clearly
he scares
like,
off multiple people at the same time.
Oh, he punches the dude at the end. They don't even finish the promo. It's like they half finish it.
Nice.
And then it's like that guy's selling it, but he's smiling, so that makes it worse somehow. Because it's like, wait, you're not a pro wrestler, you're not an actor. And then he's just standing there like a goofball because, then he walks off, obviously. But felt very Jerry Springer-ish in a way. It was like,
nice.
You ever watch the old Jerry Springer episodes? Like everybody's in on it, so everybody's enjoying themselves, and
right.
Even though the people on the stage, maybe they don't know better than that. All right, so we are 0-2 for the mainstays of catchphrases here, and I think we
are.
So we're gonna go to a modern era to one of the greatest talkers in professional wrestling. In the modern era, we talked about reinvention. This is, the guy who's reinvented himself more than once and continues to reinvent themselves. We're gonna look at a Chris Jericho promo. Now, this is not a recent one. This is not even an older one. This is smack dab in the 2010s. And he's responding to, I guess I'd say they're tweeners at the time. This is a New Day, but they're fully decked out in the kind of colorful regalia. I couldn't quite place the timeline where they are.
Okay.
This is them. This is him trying to get a catchphrase over on them. And this is not the only time he tried.
Have you not been watching WWE for the entire of 2015? We already saved WWE through the power of positivity. The power of positivity. Yeah.
The only thing I'm positive of is I'm looking at 3 unicorn horn wearing jackasses.
He was calling a lot of people jackasses.
These things look really stupid, I'm telling you. And see, that's the issue. 1 minute of Y2J already more entertaining than the rest of Raw. And let's look at some statistics as well. Network subscriptions, television ratings, live event attendance, all of them need a shot in the arm. All of them need a boost. All of them need a little Y2J, baby.
I don't need it. We don't need it. We don't need any Y2J. No.
There you go.
I missed all of you Jerichoholics here tonight. You know that?
I missed all you guys, but I have to apologize that you had to sit through 5 minutes of Green Day with their trombones and their Rudy, Tooty, Booty gyrations.
Who are you calling Rudy Tooty Booty?
Not us. Not us. You better watch your mouth.
You. Rudy, Tooty, Booty. Rudy, Tooty, Booty. Rudy, Tooty, Booty.
Yikes.
No! We are not!
Would you please shut the hell up?
Listen, you guys might not have anything important to say, but I do, and this is it. January 24th. Y2J is officially entering the Royal...
Are you Rudy Tooty Booty remembering any of this?
I remember this was my Raw on mute era. I was actively watching Raw on mute. Actively.
For this reason alone, or because
man, it was a whole lot of it, man.
Like,
I mean, I will say I do like the interaction between the two.
Right.
I do, the two parties. I do enjoy that. And I definitely miss Big E as a part of of New Day and them being the Hills and that sort of thing. And Jericho was coming back as a baby face, and he's obviously over. Jericho has tried getting so much over. We give him a lot of credit for the stuff he's gotten over.
Yeah.
But he's tried. Dude, if that dude is not a high volume shooter in pro wrestling, I don't know who is, because it was that same thing with AEW. What was the last thing he was trying to get over? That, hey guys, like that. He was trying to get that over. Like, this is Chris Jericho, but he's a smart pro wrestler. He's like, hey, it can't get over unless I put it out there. So, hey, if Rudy Tooty Booty is gonna eventually become a thing, I want my name a part of that. I want I want my name on that T-shirt where it says Rudy Tooty Booty, because that's gotten over and everyone thought that was hilarious, which no one did. But
Greg, wasn't this enough? Was it missing like a Denny's sponsorship or something?
Dude, that's exactly what I thought about Rudy Tooty, fresh and fruity, man. Don't get it twisted. Those strawberry pancakes, we're good. Just saying. And they don't have that no more, but you can go order it. Just as FYI, if you go in there and you ask for it, they'll give it
that's
to
an
you.
off the menu item.
Yeah, 100%. They know exactly what you're talking about.
It's a public service announcement for the listeners.
Right.
Exactly. The original secret menu. It was what it was. Hopefully, it was a one-off. I mean, he had the Rudy Tooty Booty going for about 10 seconds, 5 seconds, something like that. But that was about it. But I'm going to twist something on this promo. This is something that I think is unsung with New Day to this day.
Yeah.
They don't, and I'll give Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods is so underrated.
Very.
So underrated.
Very.
You hear their banter that you're not supposed to hear. And you hear him, who are they talking about? And they're not holding the mic here. He's always holding it down here. And it always looks like you're hearing me talk, but you're not really supposed to hear me talk.
Right.
And that is an art that all three of them figured out. And I'll give Xavier the most credit there, because if you watch him throughout, he's the one that kind of started that. And he talks all the time. To this day, if somebody's talking, he's talking to. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to me like that? And it's kind of under the radar, but it adds so much realism to me to a promo, because you're like, wait, if you're having an actual conversation with somebody, you're like, wait, you're talking to me like that? Are you serious? There's still that interruption, but the other person's being more dominant. And it's like, they are so underrated. And watching that makes me miss them on TV.
Oh, man.
Definitely.
And also makes me miss Jericho in that mode, because Jericho can play off anybody.
100%.
Especially at that time. And he's not afraid, to your point, Adrian, he's not afraid to try stuff.
No.
And if you ever listen him talk about it, he'll talk about stuff. He goes, that wasn't supposed to get over, and this was supposed to, and it didn't. He goes, but to your point, I'm not going to know until I try it. Like, I've heard him talk about the list. Right? He goes, the list was never supposed to be a thing. It was supposed to be one time, and it became a whole thing. So it's like, you got to give him credit. Like you said, he's shot, hey, let's try this. He's a
volume shooter. He's definitely a volume shooter.
He's a product. He's a product of EKM. It's the same thing. Try these gimmicks. Try these storylines. If they don't work, we'll act like it never happened. We'll keep on moving. And at the end of the day, if your batting average is 50%, 60%, 30%, if you get a batting average that's well enough and you're hitting home runs on those, you forget about the others.
These are forgettable.
That's a fact. Yeah. Just think, if he wasn't a volume shooter, we wouldn't have like a bottle of the bubbly and all that kind of stuff. Like, that those were just things that he put out there, and people just because he's over. Like, people love you, they're gonna love what you got to put out there, man. If you're really over, so.
And then the other piece is, like we talked about before, invest in it.
Right. He's prime example of that. Prime example of buying in on something.
Because if you're not buying into it, the crowd has no reason to, right?
100%.
I was gonna say it's funny. It's funny. In Chris's promo, he's talking about membership is up and all this. This is the early stages of the demo guy, Chris Jericho. So it's pretty funny hearing him do that.
Fully in the network era, right?
Right.
I love this version of the New Day. I mean, like, this is the New Day to me. Like, this is like them at their best, and it's so fun to see him play off of. Again, going back to what Adrian started with here, is like, this is not the era that we were hanging on to every single moment here. It was rough going for a couple of years there, but go back to the back catalog if you want to see more Jericho, more New Day promos. We covered them pretty extensively at this point, so check that out. Well, I am going to bring one more promo. It's a promo and a half, I'm going to say. And this is the hottest, the most, I'm just going to call it, it's The Rock. You got your next nice. Oscar nominee here, who is also unafraid to, throw his weight around, know his
Another
audience.
volume shooter.
Another volume shooter. Down to the point of maybe having a few written on his arm. And if you followed him and you follow like his trajectory even up until now, you know that Brian Gerwitz was essentially like, that's his writer, that's his personal writer, and that's whenever he comes back, that's the dude that's writing everything and anything, obviously through Rock's filter. And this may have been, I think, the first time where that was evident and clear that Rock already had a predetermined, I guess, catchphrase that he wanted to use on one CM Punk. And you're going to catch it here. Also, it's very jarring to hear these promos because everybody's voices almost sounds like it's a Chipmunks because their voices has dropped over the years. So it's just a little aside that I think would be funny to check out.
You couldn't do it. You talked about revolution. You couldn't do it. You came out and you promised everybody ice cream bars. Ice cream bars for everybody. And you couldn't even do that. You couldn't provide ice cream if the Dairy Queen, Carvel, and Cookie Puss drove an ice cream truck straight up your ass. They have voices, and they love to use their voice. They use it every single night. Every night they use their voice. As a matter of fact,
I remember this. Oh my God, I remember this. Holy shit.
They're gonna use their voice. They're gonna chant the loudest chant you have ever heard. They're gonna chant something that is gonna follow you for the rest of your life. They're gonna chant. They're not gonna chant respect. They're not gonna chant best in the world. They're gonna chant exactly what you are. In 3 seconds, they're gonna chant Cookie Puss, Cookie Puss.
Oh my God.
Be the puppets that you are. He got you chanting about ice cream the same way I did a year and a half ago. Congratulations. They still don't get to win. You.
I thought I'd keep the CM Punk piece at the end because it just freaks me out how high pitched his voice sounds. But anyway, yes. Greg, I'm going to come to you first. Do you have any recollection, any thoughts on, what you remember from them? Because I couldn't put it together. I had to go back and remind myself what that connection was, even to a real ice cream. Apparently, it was an ice cream cake, if I'm not mistaken.
I had to go just now look at that myself. So I remember this promo, and I'm like, what is he talking about? And then I just looked at it. I remember now, but I'm like, this is a product of understanding that, not understanding your audience. Because majority of the country doesn't have Carvel and definitely didn't know what a Cookie Puss cake is. So this is fast forward around that same time when he called Cena Fruity Pebbles. It took off. Why? Because everybody knows what Fruity Pebbles are.
Right.
But this Cookie Puss thing didn't take off. If he had done it correctly, in my opinion, it could have taken off because Punk had that heat at the time, and everybody was happy to see Rock back. But I just feel like it was a miss. But it was a miss of assuming that people knew what that was. Because even here in Atlanta, I think we had like 3 Carvels in the state.
That's it.
It's that. So, I mean, and I don't remember that. I remember the whale. I don't remember the Cookie Puss. I remember they had some whale. But
I do. I know the whale.
Yeah, so this was a total miss for me. I remember now, because at first when you were saying that, I'm like, man, what did he chant? And I'm like, oh, then he said, I'm like, yeah, I remember going, what?
Because it did feel like an era of Rock, to your point, where he was just throwing words and they were slapping them on a t-shirt, like legit. Right?
Yeah.
But Adrian, you were kind of reacting to, you were like, oh, guys, like all this flood of bad memories came back. But
I definitely remember this. That's the early stages of the mute era for me. Because like post-punk, I mean, kind of post-punk, I was like, yeah, I can't I can't do this. For me to watch and enjoy this, I have to have it on mute. And it was a 3-hour show. So, but yeah, Rock is definitely a volume shooter. And that was a great example of him just throwing something out there. But it also shows how he is normally perceived by the crowd. For him to say in 3 seconds, all of these people are going to say that. He literally did that like a couple years ago. Remember the promo Rock cut on what was that? Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
He literally did the same thing. He said in 10 seconds, this entire crowd is gonna say this. And sure enough, the crowd did it. You know why? Because he's the Rock. And that's what you're supposed to do, is sing along with the Rock.
Exactly.
So I get it. I understand. It was like, okay, Steph Curry just went and took that crazy shot at the logo. He normally makes it. So that was Rock doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, but shout out to that Punk shirt. The knees to faces riffed on the Rock, because even with the logo, that I want to say it was like a NFL captain C, but he made into C, or they made into CM Punk. That was a fun era of t-shirts, I will say. That 2013, 2016, that was a good run of some weird, unique, weird shirts or whatnot.
Collector's items for sure.
Can I throw something at y'all about Rock's promos?
Yeah.
Have y'all ever listened to blues music?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you ever notice that they repeat themselves? And the origin of that is because they used to freestyle it, and they would say the lyric twice so they could think about what they're going to say next. If you ever notice, Rock is a blues promo. He says his lines twice all the time. If you go back and watch what he just said, he said it more than once. Like, he'll say it, then he'll say it again. Then he'll say it. It's like listening to a blues song. Like, and I don't know if it's by style or if it's by, let me repeat it so I remember what I'm about to say next or whatever, but he does it on a regular basis.
That's interesting.
And has
you said that.
for many, many years. If you ever listen, if you go back and play that one again, so y'all just rewind and go play it again. It helps our algorithm anyway. So go back and do that, and you'll hear him say his word, a line, then he'll say it again. And it could be a style to kind of get some certain things over, but very much listening to a blues song.
And it's kind of like a Southern Baptist preacher too. The call and response. I mean, that's what. Yeah.
And the crowd is just so forgiving of him, right? It's like, he can do no wrong at that point.
To Adrian's point, is sing along with the Rock, and they want to. Crowds want that participation. Yeah. So this whole 100%. Thing you talked about with being, catchphrases, people want to participate.
Yes.
Even to today, the greatest participation that I never thought was unbelievable. Again, it started with Jericho. Is the sing along, the legit sing along with your entrance music. Now they're all singing along, but it started with Jericho. That's the first one I ever heard do it. On the cruise, and then now you hear the sing along with every single song, or the whoa, or all these little things that catchphrases and everything. People want to be involved, and The Rock gets that. Jericho gets that. These guys who come up with these catchphrases and these other pieces or things you do during the match. You can't see me. The whole setup of a finish or any of those things is getting that crowd participation.
For sure.
So some things miss, like most of the catchphrases you brought tonight, but there's so many others that hit.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't have said it better myself. And in fact, if you guys have catchphrases that you like, I know we have our favorites, but drop them in the comments, or ones that maybe didn't hit with you. Maybe it is like a Rock. Maybe he threw something out there that you didn't like. I'm going to take us back. We haven't done this in a while. We used to close out our night with a non-pro wrestling promo. So a promo that, was funny or thoughtful or, or thought-provoking, as it were. So I thought we close out the night that way. I just want a very immediate reaction from you guys. I'm not giving you homework or anything like that, at least not yet. So I'm gonna close out with this promo, and this is one of my favorite places. This is Universal Studios, and this is the Hollywood version of the tram ride. We're gonna pick it up as you're getting into the load zone, as it were.
This is the race day after party, and where all going? This is the race day after party, and where all going? This is the race day after party, and where all going? This is the race day after party, and where all going? Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it.
Guarantee my safety, I'm the one holding the gun. Guarantee my safety, I'm the one holding the gun. Guarantee my safety, I'm the one holding the gun. Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Sean.
So we had to live with that until they shut down that part of the tram ride like recently. So it definitely dates that. But
that's funny.
Greg, did you get that on the? Was that part of the Universal Florida experience too?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, sadly, the best part of that whole experience is the queue line.
We don't have a queue line. This is literally just part of the
we go
tram
through the
tour.
garage.
Oh,
so
no.
you go through all the cars in the garage, and there's a party and a DJ and all kinds of stuff. So the garage is cool.
All right.
The ride itself was like, I just rode this as Kong over there. Like it's the exact same ride over there.
No, that's literally how it was here. It was like part of the tram tour. You did Kong and you did this basically. So those were the two big screen things. But anyway, we could do a whole theme park podcast separately. But anywho, that's gonna be it for tonight. That was fun. I thought, we usually focus on like these really cool like catchphrases, and I figured like let's bring some weird ones up because usually we don't talk about them. So a couple catchphrases here, not complete disasters, but definitely the forgotten ones and the odd ones and the awkward ones. But this has been Talk 'em in the Building. Again, go back to our back catalog, intothebuilding.com, like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. I'm Alalith with Adrian and Greg. Until next time, us.